I cannot tell you how genuinely excited about this I am. I don't think people understand something. You know, when you're dealing with a craft product like cigars, you're talking about ingredients, right? And we're talking about someone that actually controls this ingredient that is so sought after. And his family's been doing it for 120, 30 years now. So, without further ado, I have two very special people here. Number one is Claudio Sgroi, which you all know as the host of Smoke Signals. And number two is Mr. Don Alejandro of the Turrent family that grow the San Andrés wrapper that we all love so much in Mexico. Alejandro, are you here?
Yes. Sorry,
Okay.
sorry. I received a call, so it cut for a little bit, but I'm here.
Okay, no problem. So you are in Mexico City right now at your cigar lounge. What is the name of the cigar lounge?
It's called Casa Turrent.
Okay,
It's
all right.
just,
We didn't stray
so
too
that's
far
easy.
off.
It's easy
Off.
to remember. Yes.
Okay, well, I plan to go there one day. And Claudio, I'm sure you've probably been there, but more importantly, you recently took a trip to Veracruz, to San Andres, to see this beautiful farm and factory, and you worked on with the Negro San Andres wrapper to create cigars for us that we're gonna love. And can you tell us a little bit about the experience there and what makes Mexican tobacco so different?
Well, first of all, I should say that more than a trip, it was uh, to be welcomed by a family that represents not only a legend, but the most important part of tobacco from Mexico. They made the history of Mexico. They made, if you want, all this San Andres myth around this wrapper. We have the gentleman here that I consider not a friend, a very good friend. When we arrived, he said, "Okay, my house is your house. Mi casa es tu casa."
Unbelievable. So, Alejandro, tell me a little bit about. So, right now, San Andreas is probably the most popular it's ever been. Am I correct in saying that?
Well, in terms of what you just said, popular, yes. In terms of used, I think it's been used for many, many years already, more than people know.
I love that, and I want to get into that. But first, I want you to tell us about your father, the farm, and how long you guys have been settled there growing tobacco there.
Well, we've been in the business since 1880 as tobacco growers. That's something that we've done in already since 5 generations in the same place in San Andres, southeast of the state of Veracruz. Beautiful area. Claudio was there many days, surrounded by volcanoes. We grow in our own farms, which we take care of every crop, and they've been owned by the family since back then, actually.
Wow. Wow. And so one of the before so we had like the cigar boom of the 90s, right? Before that, cigars were more of a utility, almost like cigarettes. People either smoked cigars or they didn't. At some points in time, cigars were the most smoked, more than cigarettes, right? And so during this like 80s, 90s, now I don't know the exact history, so I'm going to ask you, but Mexican tobacco was De Amo, right? That was the brand that kind of came out of a very popular brand that came out of this growing region. Am I correct in saying that? Can you give us a little education into that and what you had to do with that brand?
That's right. Yes, Tiamo was founded, the brand as a brand and as a factory in the early '60s by some people, from some American people from the northeast part of the U.S. They came back then into San Andres. They founded the factory. They launched the brand. They had some issues as is normal at the beginning for the introduction. Then in the mid 60s, late 60s, it was already one of the hottest brands in that part of the United States. And the yes, it was basically tobacco from from Negro San Andrés, which is the endemic type of tobacco that is produced there. And plus, as a wrapper, we were using the Sumatra, brought from Indonesia back then,
Oh,
and the taste of both just combined perfectly.
wow.
Sumatra has this sweet and sour taste. The Negro has, and this is in general, of course.
Yeah.
The Negro San Andres has this salty sweetness. So both taste profiles they matched lovely, and they were a hit. So it got into the market, this cigar with this blend, Ti Amo, in the right place, at the right moment, at the right price. So that's what happened.
It's unbelievable. And so I have to ask you a few questions. One of them you may not want to answer. And so I just want to preface that with saying that I can understand if you can't answer this question. But I have heard people going to Cuba telling me that there is Mexican tobacco in Cuba. And all of a sudden, over the last 5 or 10 years, you see Maduro Cuban cigars, which was never a thing in history ever, as far as I know. Again, I'm just some gringo that is in love with this thing. So, in the end, what do I really know? So, I'm asking you, is it possible that Mexican tobacco is ending up in Cuba for production purposes?
Well, if I knew, I mean, if we had sold tobacco to them, I would tell you that's for sure. So the answer is no, not directly
Okay.
from us.
Okay.
Now, what probably has happened is that some people that we sell tobacco to, they have sell tobacco to them. That's
Okay.
possible. Which
Okay.
tobacco would be? Yes, Negro San Andres, be Habano, because that's also one type of tobacco that we grow in San Andres.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, just curious. Not a conspiracy theory, just curious. This is what someone told me that went there a few years back. So I guess my question to you is you are growing up in the business during what years? When are you what year was it when you were 20 years old, I guess so, 25 years old?
Well, I started in the company in 1998, and I'm 51. Actually, I'm
Okay.
turning right
Okay.
today 51.
Oh,
So you can do
congratulations.
the
Happy
math.
birthday.
And thank you. Thanks so
Wow,
much.
I had no idea this was
And
your birthday.
yes, thank you. And so, well, I started in working in the factory. However, I'm not in direct contact with the tobacco production. That's done by my father and by Miguel, who is my cousin, and they are both in charge of that. Of
Okay.
course, my father is the head of the company and the head of the family, and he oversees the tobacco production and the cigar production. Miguel, my cousin, he's in charge of the tobacco. I'm in charge of the cigars. And back then, in 1998, I started directly in the cigar production. However, when I was a lot younger and I was still at school and I used to go to San Andres for vacation, every single time, uh, every day when I was there in San Andres for a vacation, I would go with my father to the tobacco fields. So
Mm.
of course, time has changed and now we have other methods or whatever, but I am very, very familiar with what we do regarding the tobacco production. With, of course, I learned what my father taught me about, what to do to produce good tobacco. So that's my experience.
Here's what I'd like to know. So we have Deamo, which sort of during the cigar boom of the '90s, the late '90s, around when you started working for the company, this amazing time in business happens, right? And Te Amo is almost fading out, or it sells the company. Something happens, but we don't really see Te Amo around anymore. So my question to you is, around what time did they stop being like a big purchaser of your tobacco? And what other brands maybe in the 90s and the early 2000s started buying? So take us through, like, who are the big clients for you from like 1998 to like 2005?
Okay, well, let me give you a little bit of the timeline of the Tiamo brand itself. No,
Okay.
well, the '60s, as I said, it was a huge brand. It was very popular. A lot of people loved it. I got stories so nice stories about how crazy was the consumer for it. No, people who are still in the business who owns retail shops, they tell me, hey, I remember when Tiamo was so popular that people would get online to buy every single weekend boxes and boxes of Tiamo for the weekend, right? So things like that, and many others. So then in the 70s, same thing. 80s, the market started to go down, was not that good anymore until the early 90s. Then the boom happened. I'm sure you're familiar with it. Then another market appeared. People who was looking for other things. Tiamo was kind of old. We as a family didn't own anymore the brand name in the United States, so we were not in direct contact with the market. Now, so we started to lose a little bit of information about the brand, about the market, etc. No, so it went down. That's for sure. Um, in the years 2000, the market was something completely different. Early 2000, a lot of new players, a lot of new blends. Before, if you check the information about what cigars were in the market in the 70s, it was ridiculous. No, the amount of brands, it was nothing, nothing compared with what is available now. So
Wow.
now we have new players, new brands, new blends, etc. And so it's completely a new thing. Now, during the boom, I believe that we as a country, Mexico, we made a huge mistake sending a lot of bad cigars. And it was not done only by us, it was by Mexico. It was done by many uh, places back then. Let's say, well, Nicaragua was very small or almost nothing. Dominican Republic, for example. But if we actually, I was discussing with somebody yesterday about it. If we ship, let's say, 10 brands during the cigar boom to the United States, and eight of them were not good cigars at all, that's 80%, right?
Wow.
If if Dominican Republic send during the boom to the U.S., let's say 100 brands, no, and 40%, 40 brands were not that good, no. Well, that's only 40%. I mean, it's a lot still, right? But the
Right.
perception, that's my point. The perception of bad cigars was probably worse with the 80% that were shipped from Mexico.
Sure.
I don't know. This is just a
What
theory,
made these
right?
cigars what made these cigars bad, for lack of a better word? What made them?
Okay, you know there are qualities among the tobacco, even if they come from the same type of tobacco. No, let's say the tobaccos coming from the bottom part of the plant, and especially, this is my opinion. No, I don't know too much about tobacco from other places, from other countries, but in regarding the Negro San Andres, the leaves, the tobacco leaves that come from the bottom part of the plant, they are terrible, so herbal, so they taste like hay, they taste like earth, like so. Probably that was what it was available back then, so that what was
Mm,
people used, right?
mm.
Then, of course, the lack of fermentation, the selection which was not properly done, or not done as done in a very good way,
Yeah.
etc. Things like that. But those, I mean, with that, you already have enough, no? Bad tobacco
So
and bad fermentation. That's it.
this is what I understand about 1998, 99, 2000, 2001. It was such a money grab. There was so much money to be made off just selling cigars that it was like with Cuba, the reputation that Cuba's getting now, which is they're just putting it in the boxes and getting it out because the money's already there as soon as it hits the market. So I think a lot of people suffered during that time. And so, but there comes another time now where over 2005 and on, the Maduro cigar starts to get some a little love. And then by the time we hit around the time when I started smoking cigars, 2010, 11, 12, and on, the Maduro starts to become the big thing. Before that, did people use San Andreas as a wrapper at all?
As a wrapper and as a binder, basically. No, yes. I shouldn't say a lot of people like now. Now it's unbelievable how many people, how many brands are using Nero San Andres as wrapper. But now it was used by yes, a couple of brands, but
Okay.
especially as binders. No, and some was less, lot less as fillers. Now,
Mm-hmm.
yes, well, I talk about the bad things. Now let me talk about the good things, like you are mentioning. No? Yes, tobacco from San Andres has been used since 1850. So that tells you that there is something really good about our tobacco, right? And it's not only our price, it's not only that it's available, it's not only, it's just that it's a great quality tobacco. It contributes with a lot of flavor, aroma, strength, etc. No, people, the manufacturer likes it very much because the way is easily processed, no, and it's got many good things. And yes, going back to the year 2005, yes, there's when a lot of people started to use it more and more. Um, it matches, it blends perfectly with tobaccos from other places. One of the tobaccos that I believe blends very good, more than probably others, is the tobacco from Nicaragua. No? That's why a lot of big brands use it, and I believe that now Nicaragua is our number one customer, in not only from ours, but from what I know, from other, even from other farmers in the area. No, so that Nicaraguan tobacco is quite strong, and
Yeah.
the Nero San Andres used as wrapper, it mellows down a little bit the strength. So plus other things, no, like I said, it adds flavor, aroma, etc. Now
So
they are using.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Uh-huh.
No,
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 no, no.
I'm
Go ahead,
sorry.
please.
Well, I wanted to tell you that a few of the blenders that I'm friendly with tell me that it's an amazing tobacco to blend with because it gives the appearance of a very strong leaf, but it's actually very agreeable with other tobaccos. It's a little easier to blend with other things.
Very easy, very friendly. Yes, and yeah, we the like I said, the vinyl was very popular, very popular. For example, one big brand that has always used Negro San Andres as a binder is Macanudo, for example. No, now the wrapper, it's been used also since long time. The filler not that much nowadays. Everybody wants. I mean, a lot of manufacturers want everything. No, wrappers, binders, fillers, etc. So it's really got to a point that like you said, like no, it has become really a tobacco that is very well valued by the manufacturers and of course by the consumers.
For sure. Now, Claudio, you went down there. You got to see these beautiful farms. I can't wait to show these farms. I mean, the farms are beautiful. The soil looks dark and rich. It's really something like almost black earth. It's really amazing. Tell me about was it how was it different from other tobacco farms that you go to?
First of all, I should say the size. We went around the farm and we cannot see the end of the farms of the Turrent family. So if you want to, from a
Wow.
perspective of size, so it's very so impressive. I was like blown away from that.
Wow.
The second thing is the organization of the farm. It's not only the size, because you can impress with the size, it's the meticulous work that they do with that volume, and that's extremely difficult to achieve for a tobacco producer or cigar manufacturer. You know, when you make volumes and volumes, then to have that consistency that they reached so many years ago and they keep it that very high. That's the point that I was really impressed. And more than that, of course, the cultural part and if you want immersion in Mexico, because you can go there, you can visit the farm, you can see the plant, It's so beautiful. And I spent so many days with Alejandro, with his father, with the people working at the farm, at the factory. It was a completely different experience that I was expecting to have. Uh, yes, indeed, I visited Mexico like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, first time. Wasn't the same thing. It was just a visit to see the factory, to see what they do. But now to be, inside the Turrent mind,
Yeah.
that was completely different.
Wow, 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 wow. And so you came back with these beautiful tobaccos, beautiful, you've made beautiful cigars for us to enjoy while we watch this beautiful documentary, all with the San Andreas wrapper and binders and some of the fillers, like Alejandro was saying. And so I think, Don Alejandro, if your father, Don Alberto, was here and could talk to us, what would he want the cigar consumer to know, or what would he want to say? I mean, on behalf of the family.
Well, he is a person that is very, very proud of it, of his roots, of his tradition, of the heritage, of the passion that has been around the family on growing tobacco specifically, no, since many years. About his farms, about the continuity of the business in that sense. So, and based on that, no, he would say that the tobacco in general, okay, primarily Negro San Andres tobacco, is one of the best tobaccos in the world. That's for sure.
I don't think anyone's going to argue with you at this point. The masses speak. People, the sales talk. That's one thing that you can say is, you can deliberate and come up with theories, but the fact of the matter is that when something becomes popular, it's popular for a reason. The masses are enjoying it, and if they're enjoying it, that must mean it's pretty good on some level, right? And so I think a lot of people are very quick to say, oh, if something is mass produced or used very often, oh, it's watered down or it's mainstream. But obviously, it's being used for a reason. So people are enjoying these products. Now, the way I see San Andres is, I think you've gotten to be on, especially you started at the right time. You came in during the boom. People weren't so in love with saying Mexican tobacco. And you've got to watch over the last 26 years that people become more and more proud of saying, I'm using a San Andreas wrapper from the Turrent family. And it's to the point now where your waiting list to get these tobaccos is in the years. So, congratulations on that transformation. I don't know if it's just good luck or your amazing business mind and practices, but
Thank you.
congratulations. And
You know that, yeah, luck. You find the luck, right? It doesn't come just by itself.
sure.
So we are going to do very, very good. Why? Because we have let pass some time. We came back with a great product, and believe it or not, we are not introducing a cigar with a Maduro wrapper. This cigar has a Cuban seed wrapper, the Criollo. We call it Criollo San Andres. Great looking wrapper, reddish color,
Well, we need
shiny,
to, we need to get that
unbelievable taste.
cigar for Privada Cigar Club. We need to get that.
That's for
So
sure.
I'll
That's
get
for
in
sure.
touch with you, and we'll get that. And we have this beautiful cigar that Claudio has blended for us with some amazing Mexican San Andres tobacco grown by your family. We're super proud to be able to introduce this to our audience. But the truth is, almost every month we're smoking something that has a wrapper that was grown on your farms from one of our amazing manufacturers. So we appreciate the work that your family has done for the last 140 years, it seems. And we're looking forward to many more releases with San Andreas wrapper. And so thank you for taking time to do this for us. And thank you for allowing Claudio and Mr. Thomas Bowerbank, the director, to come down there and film this beautiful video, which is just, I wish more people made content like this for cigars.
I appreciate very, very much the time that you put on to create this video, you all, and thanks so much. I
Okay,
appreciate it.
thank you. Claudio, I'll get with you soon.
Yeah.
They're going to love it. Send Claudio some messages on Instagram. Let him know how great he is on camera and how much we appreciate his work. The cigars are available on PrivadaCigarClub.com, and we're going to have that De Amo for you there available too. I'll make that call now. And that's it, man. Viva la Mexico.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, guys.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Claudio. Take care.
Gracias,
Peace.
Great to see
Alejandro.
you.